Right. All right. So welcome back on session 20. This is officially a last tech session. All right. And I will be covering basic ES6 features, which has been introduced in ES 2015, and that now we very heavily use. And also I will give you some built-in method which is being there in JavaScript, which is again very heavily used while we write code. All right. Correct. So basically, last session we did a code deconstruction, right? And objects methods and code deconstruction. I hope nobody has any issue with that, right? So let me just directly go into this one, built-in functions. All right. So we have couple of built-in function in JavaScript, and which also applies to Node because Node is also a JavaScript, right? Node is not a programming language. Node is basically a kind of runtime environment which runs at the backend or server. Right. So I hope everyone remembers that. I hope everyone remembers that, right? So the most of the function which is available in JavaScript built-in function is also available in Node. So you don't have to basically uh, uh, remember this thing. So once you know this, then you will be able to work on them. So first function is basically set timeout. So set timeout is one of the built-in function which uses a web API, a timer API in JavaScript. So there is a timer kind of a timer implementation in JavaScript which basically uh, help us basically create kind of a delay the code for a specific period of time. So set timeout is a function which takes parameter uh, 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 function as a parameter and what timeout do I want to give it, right? So now if you basically remember all of my session from function session, you will be able to remember that function takes a parameter. Function can also takes a function as a parameter. So that is what we will be passing. So we'll start with this very simple implementation. Then I'll basically create it as an inline function. So I'll just say I will say const, let's say I'll call it a timer function, and I'll just say function and I'll say console.log something after let's say 2 seconds. Okay. So I will pass this function as a parameter, and I will say in this that I want to run this function or I want to run this function after 2 seconds. So in JavaScript, the timer time basically is basically handled using millisecond. So 2 second, 1 second equals to 1000 milliseconds. So 2,002 second equals to 2000 milliseconds. So if I do this now, when I run this, it will basically run the function after 2 seconds. So if I do now, if I put a console log here, so put this. Okay. Now you will see if I run this now. If I run this now, built-in functions. Okay, you will see those are two console printed, and the second one after is printed after 2 seconds, right? So this way, this is a built-in function which helps us basically delay the code execution, right? So in JavaScript, one of the main important part is in JavaScript, code runs in a non-blocking way, or kind of you will say uh, 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 in an event loop way that this function is basically been sent to as a kept uh, as a kind of a put it in a waiting queue, and once the time is executed, then this function gets called from the timer function. Right. If I change this to 5 seconds, we will basically again wait for 5 seconds and then we'll run it. Okay, it waited for 5 seconds and then it run it. Okay. Okay, so in this case also, like just like a inline function, I don't have to pass a variable declared function express function assignment. I can directly pass a function expression here. All right. So I can directly pass function expression here. All right. So now if I run this, I will still get the same result. And I'll run this. It will wait for 5 seconds, then it will run. Okay. So now basically it printed after 5 seconds. All right. Same way, I can still say time set timeout. Let's say this is after 2 seconds. I change this to 2 seconds. Okay. Now you see the difference. You will see the difference. First and second is printed, then it printed the second, and then it will print the fifth one, and the function which is after 5 seconds. So this way, if you want to basically, let's say, delay some execution of the code, we can put it into set timeout. So set timeout only run once. All right. So this way, basically, we can print the values. There is also we can do set timeout takes zero also. But even if you pass a zero, it will still, so JavaScript timer basically will still consider this as a time. So it will basically push into a timer queue so that it will print 1, 2, and then it will immediately put 0 second. If I run this, you will see 1, 2, and 0 second. Right? So even if you put something in set timer, even if that is a zero, it will get always executed after uh, the main code is finished. Okay. So basically, anything which is there in the as a which is taking as a callback, it basically run after the main code is executed. Alright. So that's why in JavaScript we say the JavaScript programming language is a non-blocking programming language, so that code doesn't run, doesn't execute line by line. I mean, it does execute line by line, but it also basically kind of have a provision that it passes that it delays the execution when there is a non-blocking part. Alright. So a lot of time I ask question about this, that if you post a set timeout equals to zero, then what will happen? What will be the execution? Right. So because set timeout belongs to the timer API, and even if it is zero, JavaScript still consider this as a time, so it will delay the execution from the main thread. Right. So this is the one of the built-in function which we heavily used in case basically we want to delay some execution. Let's say we want to wait for a page load to complete. Let's say we want to wait for some application to load. Then we use a set timeout. Right. So similar function is, there is another built-in function called set interval. Another built-in function called set interval. So set interval exactly works as a set timeout, but the only difference is set interval runs continuously. It's like a basically a kind of a timer loop. Okay. If I run this, say this, you will see, and again you will see after 5 seconds, then it will again run after 5 seconds. So this set interval will keep on looping, keep on running after 5 seconds, right? So if you want to run something for like if you want to run something which is continuously, you want to continuously execute it, then set interval is used. So we have to be very careful when we use a set interval, because it leaks memory, right? So if not taken carefully, then it basically sometimes takes a lot of memory in browser, and in when if you're using a node, it will take a lot of memory in node, right? So I have to be very much sure that if you use set interval, then the purpose value should be very clear, and this interval should be cleared, the memory should be cleared, right? So let's say, let's the same way I can do this thing. I can just say uh, 3 second here. Now if I run this again, you will see, okay, 3 second, then 5 second, then it will again 3 second, then again it will 5 second, 3 second, okay, then 5 second, 3 second. Alright. So now this both code are basically running in parallel. Alright. So depending on which execution is first, it will basically keep on printing it, right? So that way, this is the one other also thing which you have to very careful by when you're working in JavaScript. So code execution does not depend on your line where the code is, right. It basically will depend on how this stack which has a function get executed. Right. If I put 0 here, 0 will basically put an infinite loop. So I will not put a 0. I will just put 100 millisecond. Hundred millisecond is 0.7 second. Okay. So all three are basically running in parallel. Depending on which is get executed, it prints the value. Alright. So set interval is again used when you want to run the code continuously. Alright. Okay. So now let's say you want to basically be sure that you want to if you're setting up an interval, then you should also clear the interval in case if you want to you have achieved your goal. Right? Otherwise, it will keep on running. So for that, there is another function called clear interval. Alright. So again, set interval again returns another function called clear interval. Not another function, it returns a reference. Let's say I'll just say this is a timer. Okay, and then all right, and I'll just say here variable let counter equals to 0. Okay, and whenever once it is called, I want to do counter plus plus. Okay, I want to say if counter is greater than 5, for example, then I want to basically destroy this timer. So destroy this interval. So I will just pass the reference to this. Okay, this will basically what it will do. uh, uh, so whenever this is run executed, I will just change this to 3 seconds. Whenever this is executed, and every time it is executing, the counter value will get increased, and when the counter is increased and if it is reaching it is more than 5, if it is more than 5, then basically it will the clear interval will be called, where the timer reference will pass. So timer is defined here, and because here basically we are again using kind of a circular reference. The variable is declared outside and we are using inside because uh, uh, it is a kind of a referential check. So it basically removes the interval from the code and it will stop executing the intervals. You just check, we'll wait for 15 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. Yeah, it exited, right. So it exited the code after the counter, it has reached the counter value. All right. Same applies for say, set timer also, but set timers because only runs once, so you don't have to really clear timeout. Okay, so clear timeout is only required where if you are using interval. All right. So these are the basic two timer function which is used very heavily in JavaScript. Timeout is used very heavily. Intervals are basically when you want to run some function continuously, we use interval. Otherwise, timeout is used. Okay. Another function is basically called parseInt. All right. So parseInt basically because in JavaScript we don't have at least in ES5 we don't have int. ES6 there is a provision introduced, but that is still not like a native int value, int upload, right? So what it does basically, this is not a good way to check, uh, but if you want to let's say convert something to a number, so earlier we used to do this. Let's say if I have some value called uh, number equals to 10.1. Okay, All right, let's see if I have this value, and I'll just put this value num. Okay, and I'll just assign this to num. Okay, and I'll put console, and I'll just print this. You will see it basically printed 10. All right. So because what it does basically, it converts any number, all right, into an integer value. All right. So if I pass this, let's say 10.9, we convert this into an integer number. Even if I remove put a this type value, it will still convert this into an integer number. So it basically says convert parts into integer value. All right. All right. But this does not guarantee. So you have to, when if you're doing mathematical operation, you should never use this function. Okay. Be very careful. I never use this function because this is a very risky function. And let's say if I have some value, right? And let's say uh, if I have, so let's say, for example, let's say you have a tax called 12.8, 12.5. All right. And if I do this, and let's say if I have some price, okay, price, let's say you have some price called 25,000, 25,000. All right. Now, if I do this now, and if I do num into price, okay, okay, you see the difference. All right. So basically, with parts in the value is 30,000, but with the normal value it is a 31,205, right? So you have to be very careful if you're using mathematical operation. Never use parts in unless you are sure that it will always be a like you desire a, you basically you desire a uh, int value, right? So it is not really desirable. It doesn't give you the desired output. Okay. But if this converts anything to a number or integer number, okay, you will still see the value. Alright, okay? But here the catch. Okay. So when you run a parse int, if you pass anything in that, it will strip out all the non-number values and it will just convert this into an integer. Okay. If I just do this, let's see what happens. It is showing me none, so it is not taking. Okay. And let's see if I use null here, then it is still now. And basically now the initial value should always be a number. Okay. So basically remove because this one worked because now this is converted into a number value, which is a 12, and this one, that is why it is returning 30,000, 300,000, yeah, 200,000, yeah, so not 30,000. And this one is none because this number and this number, because this is not a number, it is returning none, right? Let's say same if I do with this, let's see what happens. Okay, I still get it, right? So parse int basically what it does, it strips out the non-number value and converts into a absolute value, which is a number. Okay. My personal recommendation, I never use this because I always see this is not a good way to do this. So for me, what I do, as you already know, right? I will go with this. I will always use I will always use this, and it is like a safest way for to handling any number value. Okay? Same applies to parse float also. Okay, parse float was recently introduced. So if I run this, it will again, so it will basically will retain all the float value, but again, if I pass a, you will still see because I have added this, right. So because there is no number value here, there is no numeric, so it returned nan, but see this, it returned 12.5 when I did parse float, right. So ideally, so this function what it does, so if you have some string which says 12.5 uh, percentage, yeah, Now basically it strips out non-numerical value. All right. So this is the job of these two functions. All right. But my recommendation, never use this. Never use this. Yeah. Always use plus. If you're doing mathematical operation, this is the safest way to handle it. Okay. This is the one function which is there. I've seen this a lot in code, and because of this, a lot of mathematical error happens, and the wrong value is generated because of this. Yeah. Because parsing strips out all the value after dot. All right. So the next built-in function is basically a not function, but it is an object. Let me just try this now. If it is object of console.log type of JSON, it is an object. It is an object, right? So JSON is a built-in object in again in JavaScript. So it is also available in Node, and it will be also available all the framework which is based on JavaScript, right? So it helps in converting an object into JSON and JSON into object, right? So objects as a data used within the program, JSON as a data used outside of the program, outside of application. Let's say if you have application, if you want to send data from one application to another application, it is sent using JSON value, JSON data. All right. But if you want to use that value, it is converted into JSON is converted into an object. So both are basically looks exactly same. Only difference is basically a kind of how it is represented. Okay. So JSON has a two main method, which is called stringify, okay, which basically converts a string object into a object, or a string JSON into a, or I would say JSON into an object. So if I run this, let's see if I do const a, okay, and if I do this now, you will see basically not a stringify, sorry, parse. Correct. Sorry, my bad. So basically, stringify converts object into a JSON string. Now, if I run this, you will see, it is not printing in this case. It has to be in. How do I print? Let me just try this in browser, because console is again converting into back to object.
JSON parse give us the object.
Stringify. Yeah. So basically, this is showing properly, right? So you'll see this. This object is basically wrapped into a code. So this JSON, this object is converted into a JSON. So this is the JSON value. All right. So reverse also works. So we have a JSON and we have a parse. All right. In parse, we pass a string JSON. We basically pass a JSON, or we call pass a object string, and it converts into an object. Okay, you will see this. Okay, let me just again show you this. If I assign this to a variable, okay, and if I do type of a, you will see a string. Okay, but if I do reverse, where we, all right, and if I do type of where we, it is an object. All right. So this built-in utility or built-in object is very heavily used in JavaScript or Node, or any JavaScript framework. JSON stringify, JSON parse. So any data you are getting from outside your application, you always parse. If you're expecting it to be an object, you parse it. You parse it and then you use it. But if you're sending data outside of your application, then you stringify and then you send it. Yeah. So just remember, this is a very heavily used. So same applies for a array as well. Okay. If I print this, okay, you will see this. Okay. And if I do array dot is array, and if I do b, you will see true. Right. And if I again do stringify for array, you will see a as a other quotes value. All right. So these are the two functions which is very popular. I don't think so there is another function in this constructor वगैरह also. Those are the objects. Yeah, not required. Yeah. Just remember these two functions: JSON string and stringify, JSON parse. All right. Very heavily used. All right. Okay. Let me just show you a real example. All right. Okay, so this is the basically this looks like an this is basically because it is written inside a code. It is a JSON. It is an object. Right. What I have to do basically, I have to stringify it. I will just pass this user and let's say console. It will not print here actually because it is again converting back to object. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. It did. All right. Let me just print this user and string. Okay. See this object is printed like this. Okay. In object, it has removed the quotes in from the keys, but in string, you will see there is a quotes added. All right. So this front first and last quote is removed. There should ideally be quote here and quote here, but console is removing from this node is removing from this console. All right. So again, this object is converted into a JSON string. All right. So this is called as an object. Okay. So only difference syntactic difference is this string, the key should be a string, but in object it is not necessary the key should be a string. All right. It automatically converts into a string. All right. So only the difference is this. So if you don't put a string, this code, the key within a string in JSON, it will throw you an error. All right. Let me just show you that also. If I create a new file, user.json, okay, and if I copy this, JSON, because JSON is a data file, it does not take any variable. You will see this, there is it started throwing an error. Okay, so first error is this. So any last value in JSON cannot have a delimiter. All right, so you have to remove the delimiter. All right, so now, okay, so it all the there's are basically string. So if I remove this okay, you will see now it is showing me an error that basically must be double quoted. All right, so JSON value is always a double quoted. It look exactly same as an object, but because it is in a JSON file, it is in a JSON string or JSON data, or you can call it a JSON object. Okay, but if it is a JS file, then it is an object. It is an object. All right, that means it will not have any properties. It is just a pure data. Okay, whereas in this it will have a property. If I do this, if I do user dot something, I can basically get the value, but in the string I cannot do dot here. Let's see if I do anything, right? If let's see if I do, what is the value here? ID. Yeah, ID. Okay, let me just print this. It just printed undefined because this is a string. And again, just give you the better idea. If I do type of user and type of string, okay, it will basically make you clear that first one is object, second one is a string. Okay, all right. Right. So only difference being it basically the JSON value, the JSON data should be keys should be double coded, and the last value, I mean the last there shouldn't be any delimiter in the last value. Let's say from here also, if I put here also, it will start throwing that this is the last entry in this friends array, so I cannot put a delimiter here. I cannot put a delimiter here. All right, I cannot put delimiter here. All right. So if you're putting a delimiter or comma, then that means you have to add another entry. All right. So this is the main difference between that. Where is an object, it is not required. You can put anything, right? Because it will parse it, so it will automatically remove that. All right. So this is the main difference between JSON string and JSON object. Right. JSON, I mean object is used within a code. JSON string is basically used for transforming data from one place to another place, from one application to another application, or I would say from front end to back end and from back end to front end. All right. So JavaScript basically, the best part of JavaScript is it has a built-in parser, JSON parser. That means it internally does everything. If you when you send a data from a front end to back end, it internally converts into a JSON object and sends the data back to the server. I mean to the server. Same applies to the other way around. When the data comes from the server, it comes as a JSON string, and before it reaches to the application, it automatically get converted into a JSON object. All right, or object. Okay. So this basically helps us like kind of a gives you very flexibility in terms of writing your application. Whereas another programming language, you will have to use another kind of a module, or possibly they have introduced a module which converts into a JSON format. All right. So JSON is basically initially was belong to JavaScript, and later it was basically imported or ported to another languages to support the implementation.
I have a question. If
Uh-huh.
in the user.json file, if we want to read that string,
Uh,
then can we use that bracket syntax?
no, you cannot read this. Okay, you have to first import the this file, then only you can read this. So what you have to do basically, so I'm just using Node.js syntax. So let's say if I use let uh, user 2, for example, okay, and I will just import the value. Okay, require user.json. Okay, all right. So the moment I import it, now the require function will convert into an object. All right. So now if I print this, you will see an object, right? Because it is an object, I can use. It did print, right? Print one. Let me print something else. Picture. Okay. Print one, right? So you can only reference in an object, not JSON, right? IDs are those dot reference is only applicable for object, not data. Okay. JSON strings are not data. I mean, not object. It is a data. Okay. You first have to convert it to a JavaScript. I mean, the JavaScript object. So this function automatically does that. When you do this, it basically automatically convert your JSON string into a JSON object or object. Okay. So this is the object. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So string ka purpose is only used for data. If you want to store a data, let's say if you want to store configuration or let's say some other values or constants, right? So we store in JSON file, right? So that we can manage it. And if let's say, uh, and also if you want to do a IO, or IO versus IO mean that you want to basically do a kind of a communicate with the front end and back end, use JSON data format for sending and receiving data. Earlier we used to use XML. Okay? XML earlier the data format used to be the XML, but XML it was too complex. So Douglas Crockford from Yahoo in 2000 created a JSON. Okay, so it is called JavaScript Object Notation. The full form of JSON is JavaScript Object Notation. Right? That means basically it is a child of JavaScript. So it was initially basically built for JavaScript, then it was ported to all the language to support it, right? So JavaScript engine has a built-in support for this, and that is the beauty of this, right? So that is why if you see who are working in a backend and Node, you will always see the best data for base for like Node developers is Mongo, right? Because they can directly dump the data in MongoDB, because MongoDB is also the same JSON-driven database or document-driven database, right? So basically, they don't have to convert back and forth again and again. You can just directly take the data and dump in the Mongo. You can read the data from Mongo and directly send it to the front-end or API. Right? This is what I've seen. The most of the Node.js developers are more comfortable with basically MongoDB because they don't have to do anything.
Even Postgres is also a good option because in that we can store the NoSQL data, means in JSON format.
That is a new implementation, right? So back
Yeah,
in 2013, 14, there was no
yeah.
such
We are
feature.
using Postgres only, so we can
And
store both means relational
yes,
as well as
yes,
JSON data
yes,
in
correct. So
table.
even MySQL version 8 is also has a JSON support now, right? But it does not have that full support of Mongo.
Full support.
That is still does not have a full support of Mongo. But my favorite is Postgres in terms of database, because I can do both relational as well as
Means
not.
JSON as well as normal data, it can
Uh,
be stored in the
uh, uh,
table.
yes, yes, yes. I am my personal favorite now is basically Postgres. You can do a lot of things with Postgres. But I've been using MySQL, by the way.
Mainly it's open source Postgres, so
Yeah,
it
yes,
has.
yes, correct. All right. So I hope this is clear. So these were the built-in functions in of JavaScript. All right. So now I will basically show you the few features which were introduced in ES6, and that really helped us, reduce lot of code. Right. So one of the feature is called basically called destructuring. Okay. Or let me start with the spread operators. All right. So basically, spread operator is what? Let's say I showed you, right? If you, let's say you want to create another variable, let's say user2, and user2 equals to user. Okay. And if I console user2 user, okay, both will print the same thing. Okay, both print the same thing. All right. Are there a copy or reference? User2 is a copy or reference?
Reference. So
Yes. Basically, it is a reference, right? If I change anything in user2, okay, let's see if I change the index value to 12, okay, we'll just print here index, okay, and then I'll just print here index, okay. And if I print this, both are changed, right? Because non-primitive are passed by reference, so user2 also holds the same the same pointer place where user is pointing, right? So this used to create a lot of issue in terms of your uh, data sharing part, right? I told you, right? So if you're not very sure clear, then you the developer end up like creating a lot of mess in the code. So basically to mitigate that issue, uh, uh, there was one function which is introduced in the ES5 was called object assign. Alright. So object assign, what it does, it creates a new object, the new memory location, and then it basically copies the all primitive and non-primitive are still passed by reference. So if I run this now, let's see what happens. Okay, do you see this? मैंने user team 2 में change किया, but user 1 का it remains still the same. Let me just check this tag. Okay, tag अगर करता हूँ now, you will still see the both value. Right? But if I add user2 dot tags dot push, yeah, all right. So how this is possible? How I'm able to do a push?
It's array.
Because it is an array, right? So the moment I use dot, it converts into a array constructor, right? Tag is array, so it becomes array constructor. All right. Let me just add one value here. Okay. Now if I run this, you will see basically it is being added into both, right? So basically, in what object assign does, it copies all the primitive value to new object. So this is a new object, and assign will copy all the primitive value by one, and it will copy all the non-primitive as well. But non-primitive are always passed by reference, right? So that is why all the non-primitive remains as is, but primitive are basically changed. So we have to just be sure that we also uh, remove this one also. So I will just do, so basically this object assign takes a multiple parameters, all right, and all the last parameter basically will override the next parameter. Let's see if I do this, if I do index here, okay, and if I do 34, so what it will do basically, it will basically create new object and it will assign all the keys to this new object and override the index value to 34. So if I now run this, okay, you will see that user2.index is 34. So this overrides. Same is applicable for tags also. So I can do the tag for tags also. So for tag, what I want to do, I want to override and copy the value not pass as a reference. So what I can do here, same applies. I'll just say tags dot, I will just do map. Okay, because map again returns the new array. Okay, I will just do returns item, not return item. So this will create a new array. And now if I do this, let's see if this value remains the same or it changes the value. Tag is not defined. Where is that? Okay, sorry. User not tag. All right, you will see in basically user 2 there is a new value added, but in user 1 there is a still old value. So now both are basically pointing to a two different location, because by using this creates new array. So new location is created for this tag. But if I use friends, right? Yeah, if I use friends, and again if I use friends, if I push some value, and here again if I check this, okay, you will see the both is added, right? So object.assign is used for basically dereferencing the objects, right? Instead of when we do this, it is basically pass by reference. All right. Now to avoid the issue, the object assign was added. All right. Otherwise, we have to call individual values. Otherwise, क्या करना होता है हमें? We have to do this. ID equals to user dot ID. All right. Then index colon user dot index, something like this, right? So this basically creates unnecessary code, right? So to solve this, this object assign was introduced, and in object assign you can keep on basically adding the keys and keep on updating the value. Okay. Now this was from ES5. So when we were running ES5, we used to do this a lot. Right? But to solve this issue, ES6 introduced something called as a spread operator. So instead of doing this basically object would assign, they said don't do this anymore. Okay. Just select to, you want an object, create an empty object and then spread. 3 dot का meaning होता है spread. ठीक है, इस तरह से हम लोग कार्ड ऑफ स्टैक को स्प्रेड करते हैं, राइट? स्प्रेड करते हैं. So that is it is called as a spread and object. Right? Again, what it will do, it will basically spread all the primitive value, ठीक है, and it will copy it. But I'll do again. User dot index equals to user 2 dot index. User 2 dot index equals to 20. Yeah. Run this again. You will see this user2 index is different from user to user index because it is now spread. It is basically copied. All right. So see this. See the code change, right? So basically now it is basically been reduced to a single line, a small code, right? So this is still only applies to a primitive, right? Primitives are always copy by value, but non-primitive always pass by reference, right? So if I again do this now, okay, and you will notice, you will see something. If I do this, okay, user 2 is not already declared. Okay, sorry. You will see this. Okay, it is being added in both user 1 may be, user 2 may be. Okay, again to solve this issue, simple. So basically in spread operator, just like assign, it says if you want to basically update any key, okay, just add that key, okay, and just basically again create a copy of that. Okay. Because map returns a new item return. I'm using a shorthand. This is the shorthand for arrow notation. So in basically, if you're basically not doing anything in arrow function, and if you do just return item, right? Instead of doing this, you can directly remove this curly braces and directly do this. Okay, so this is the shorthand. So now if I do this, right? If I do this, now if I run this and if I run this, okay, let's see what is the output. Yeah. Okay. You will see one value is added in this user 2 and it is not added in user, right? Again, this is a map function. So what we can do with instead of doing this, let's see if we can also spread the array also. We spreaded the main object. Now want to, because tag is an array of string. So basically tag, I won't create an array. I will just spread user.tags. Okay. Now if I run this, you will see there is a value here, and now there is no value is added in original one, right? So this is the beauty of the ES6, where we basically introduces a lot of code by using spread operator, right? So you have to do this for all the non-primitive types. If you, let's say if you have a long, very big object, right, and that big object still have a nested objects or nested non-primitive, then you have to do this, just to make sure that you're creating a copy of it and not a reference copy of it. This will still apply for your friends. Okay, and if I do this, and let's say if I do this now, you will see there's a value in one, right? But there is no value. Okay, but let me just show you one thing. Friends name, cleaning it, oops, both is updated. Why? Both are updated. Why? Anyone can guess? No? Alright. Because see this array is still a non-primitive, and inside array there is again a non-primitive, right? So we spread the non-primitive, the friend which is an array, we spread that. We did not spread the value of uh, uh, the value which is inside, right? So I don't think so we'll be able to spread this. So we have to use, like we have to use some kind of a loop or something so that the inner value can be spread or copied. Okay, so this is how the spread operator works, right? Both applies for both array and object. Any doubt with this? Any question? No? I think I can do this. Let me just try this. Dot map. Content. Just do this. Again, I will just spread the item. Now let's just try this. Basically, oh, now basically it worked. So what I did, I basically spread the array first, then I run the map function on that, and map may it executed, and basically again I spread the inner value. So I spread these values. We created a copy of this using this and returned. So basically now, because map returns another new array, so this is basically attached. So if I now run this, basically it basically now uh, updates its own copy, does not updates the original because it is a new reference copy, new copy, new memory location. Okay. So spread basically spreads the entire object, creates a copy of the object if it is a primitive, and the all the non-primitive are kept at it is, as it is. If you want to basically spread the non-primitive, then you have to do it manually by using those keys. All right. And if you have like a complex structure like this, then again we have to use some complex structure to do multiple combination, just to achieve that. Okay. So spread operators again now is very heavily used in ES6 when we write a code, because we write code in ES6 only. The ES5 is a foundation. Once if you don't know ES5, you won't be able to understand ES6 or how it works. Okay. So yet ES5 is like your foundation. Without that, ES6, even if you're working, but you are not sure exactly how it is happening. Okay. Right. Right. So the next one is, any question with this? All right, ठीक है, sure. Next one. All right. So this was a spread operator. So next one is a destructuring. So destructuring में क्या होता है? Yeah, destructuring में क्या होता है? Let's say if you have a something called, if you have a const, let's say index, or let's say let's say if I do age equals to user.age, okay, and I do console.log. I just print the age. Yeah, it printed the value, and again I have to, let's say I want picture. Okay. Because these are the primitive values, it creates a copy. So when I do this, because these are basically primitive value, it creates a copy. So if I now again print this, it will basically print the value. All right. Again, so this is how we did it in ES5. But again, ES6 introduced of something called as a destructuring, where we can basically pluck out the keys, extract the keys from the object, and we can directly use it. Okay. So the for basically syntax is, so when we use a destructuring, basically it should have the exact key name. So instead of this, we can write something like this. So if it is an object, we write an object, and again we write another object, the original object, and we want, let's say we want to find out the pluck out the not pluck out, but basically copy the value. We will just pass the key name. Okay, it will basically copy. It will copy by value. Okay, so now if I run this, again same way, if I run this ID, index, and picture, now if I run this, you will still get the same value. Okay, this way. But again, non-primitive same principle applies. Okay, if I do this and if I print this now, you will see animal, right? If I do tag dot push, okay, if I do run this now, you will see I have added a value. But if I do user dot tags, you will still see it also updates the original one. Okay, so because this is a non-primitive, tag is a non-primitive, it creates a reference copy or reference, not a copy of it, right? So this basically, with this, just instead of writing a 4-line, this destructuring help us basically reduce the number of lines of code, and this really help us, in terms of this thing. Okay, so there is one very nice nifty feature of the very cool feature of this. Let's say you wanted only extract few keys, but I want rest of the key in the split out the keys. So so in JavaScript ES6 they said you just spread the value and it will basically do the same thing. So if I do this now, let's say rest. Okay, so if I now print this ID, tags, picture, okay, and rest. Okay, you will see, print this, you will see I don't want to, okay, chalega. All right, so I printed the ID, then it printed the tags, Okay, then it printed the picture ka link, and then the rest of the keys are printed here, right? So basically, it is when we do a destructuring, it basically split the entire objects into the keys, right? So we basically from that we plug this 4 key from that object, and this rest will keep rest of the key. Okay. So if I just print this now, you will see there is no in there. No, there is no key in this. Okay, but if you don't use this keyword, then uh, uh, basically it is just ignored. Okay, and let's say if I basically remove, instead of tags we remove friends. Now you will see instead of friends you will see a tag in main rest key, not this. Uh, you will see tags, rest is removed, friends is removed, right? So this is also a very nifty feature in where we basically want to split the object, spread the object into multiple keys. Instead of copying one by one, we basically spread the object into multiple keys. Okay. Same applies to an object as well. Okay. So let me just use for tag also, tag only. So I just use tag. So I will just use tags here, and same applies for array. So I will use, for array we have to use array notation and the array value. Okay. Then now what I want, basically I want, because array does not have a kind of a key, right? So we have to pass a name in that where you want to hold the value. All right. Again, it will start with index 0. Okay. So let's see if I give a name first, second. So basically first the index 0 will basically get assigned to first, and index 1 will get assigned to second. So if I do this now, let's say if I do first, if I do second, okay. If I print this now, you will see uh, here the value of first is this, then ipsum is the second. All right. And if you want rest of this, so I will just say rest tags. Okay. So all the rest of the value will be basically assigned to this. You will see. I'll just remove this. Okay. So first two is basically removed from the array, and the rest are basically just copied to another basically array. Okay. If I just add another one here, any. Okay. Now if I print this will be gone. The library will be gone. Okay, because not printing it. So I can just print here any. And we just print it. Okay. So the only difference in array structuring, when there is an array, there is no key in array. So it basically just uses the index value, and you have to explicitly give it a name. Right? Without that, otherwise it will not assign. But in case of object, you have a key, so you just use a key. And if you want to, let's say, rename the value, how do we do it? Let's see if I do colon, just the index value. Right? So basically, this is our syntax for renaming the key. In case of an object, let's say you want to rename the some key value, so you just first pluck out the key and then use a colon notation to rename the value. Okay? This is how rename the key. Right? So this is the main difference between array and object based structuring. These are the main two in the introduction, main two feature which is introduced in ES6 and very heavily used. And if you don't know this, right, you will see this a lot, something like this a lot. Let's say args, something like this, params. Okay, so once you do, if you don't know this, you won't be able to figure out what it is doing. Okay, but if you know this, then you will exactly know. Okay, this holds those values. Okay, so if you're doing something like this, it always holds the same rest of the values. Okay, and if I run this, right, it will possibly give me undefined, because in this only one rest is allowed. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure. No, it does not allow, because rest can only be last element, so it does not allow. Only one rest elements are allowed. Okay, in this. Okay, now it basically prints the value. Correct. So this is the main feature which was introduced in ES6. Okay. So another feature which was introduced in ES6 was called string literals. Any doubt with this? Any question? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So another feature which was introduced in ES6 was called string literal. So string literal में क्या होता है? Let's say if you have something called let first name. So let's call not last name. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Now in JavaScript in ES5, to add this to value, what we had to do? Let full name. We had to do this first name plus because to concat the value we had to use plus and then last name. Okay. Now if I do this, if I run this, you will see value first name plus full name. Sorry. The value will basically club together, right? To do this, basically to give a space, we have to use another plus and give the space here. Okay? Now it prints the space proper, it prints the proper name, right? But this something like this concatenation happens a lot. We do a lot, right? So it used to create a lot of issue in terms of it gives a readability issues. Like let's say if you're having like something like this. Array, then you have space, and then again a plus, and again you have some value. Let's say if I'm adding user.age here, again I'm adding some plus and again a space. Again I'm adding some user. Let's say balance. Okay. Now if I run this, not basically printed the proper value, right? But this basically creates a lot of like a readability issue and nothing wrong with this, but in year 6 there was a better way introduced which is called as string literal. Okay, so how do we do that? So basically let I will just call it the let str new. Okay, all right. So string literal में what it does basically you define a backtick, like something like this, all right, and backtick basically uh, preserves the line space, whereas this does not, plus does not. All right. So if I now, when we use a backtick, basically JavaScript will consider this as a template. All right. And in template, you have to pass a variable, okay, to print the value. And to basically print the value, the variable is declared using dollar and curly brace, right? So this is how you declare a variable. So if I now use the first name, and using this, it will basically print the string name. Basically printed the first name, right? So now I just have to give the space, dollar, last name. Okay? So there is no plus I have to use. Again, I can just do dollar user.age. Okay. This is very nifty feature, very nice feature which was introduced by ES6. Balance. Right, it basically now prints the entire value without writing plus sign, and it comes up gives us the template structure. All right, but this is one thing which I have. Let's see if I give a space, right? It preserves the space. You will see if I give a new line to this, you see, right? So this is kind of you can say this is the drawback as well as feature. So sometimes this is not a desired outcome, but sometimes this is the desired outcome. All right. So we cannot call it as a kind of a bug or a feature, right? So everyone, like different people have a different perspective. So so that is as it is. All right. So just you have to remember that. If I use this, right? So if I use plus here now, if I remove this, okay, and if I run plus sign, here, you will see printed. Okay. It does honor it, but well, anyway. So I was not expecting this. Okay. All right. So this is the string literal, which is basically help us, write or kind of do a string concatenation very smoothly. Okay. And again, I use this very, very often whenever I have to do a variable transformation. Right? Join multiple variables with this. Okay. But one problem with this is, let's say if you don't have a variable which is defined. Okay. Let's say if I use dollar user, let's say any some value. Okay. And now this key is not here in this object. Okay. And if I now do this, you will see there is an undefined with enter here. So there is basically to solve this issue. Okay. Either what we do, we have to be very sure, in inside this variable declare in this side this variables, we have to use that are the logical operations and then this thing, right? So it will basically only print the value if there is a value. No, it just print. It did print. Why? Student, right? Okay, this does not consider it. Interesting. So we cannot use this. We have to use ternary. Okay. If this is the value, I've been using ternary but never realized that and is not allowed. Okay. Now there is a no value is printed. Yeah. So we have to be very sure if you're using a variable, it should be basically either handled or kind of a handle outside of this place. Let's say where you basically just say if user some value is if it is there, then you assign it or you assign an empty string. Okay. So you safely handle it. Now I don't need this. It will just print the empty string in this. All right. But the moment I assign something in this, let's say if I assign something, some value, all right. So we will just print that some value. We will just print that value. Okay. So this is how you basically handle this. Okay. Any question with this? This is called as a string literal. Okay. All right. So last part, function. We already know arrow function. Any doubt with arrow function? What is the salient feature of arrow function? It does not have its own context, right? Correct. So the same, the spread and the destructuring part which I shared, right? Same applies to function as well, right? So let's see if I have a function, okay, and if I say, let's say I have a function name is a task. Okay, I'm writing a normal function, named function, and now I just say, let's see if I call this a param, right, and call this as a console. Okay. I print this params. Okay, and now I just say task, and I just ask the user. Okay. Now basically this is the ES5 syntax where we are basically just passing the value and this is getting printed. So I'm just passing the is the anywhere printed? No. It is only printing once. Okay. Yeah. Right. So basically now it is basically just pass as a reference to other function, right? So ES6 again gives us a very nifty feature that we said so you can also destructure in function as well. So it says if you're passing an object, just use this object, okay, and then just use destructuring. So now it will basically again create a destructuring and create a copy of it. Not the, it will basically copy all the value. So now if I do this, let's say if I do param.id equals to 30, and I copy here, paste here, and if I console.log user.id, param.id, both are different. Okay, yeah, we go basically I overrode it now. Okay, let's check this to index. Okay, now you will see एक में index 30 है, एक में index 10 है, alright. But if I don't use this, now you will see the difference. दोनों में 30 है. I hope you are getting the difference, right? This is the ES5, alright. And to achieve basically a copy of data, you have to do object assign. I have to do something like this here. Object dot assign, hit ES5, create new object here, then param, right? Then close it. Okay. I was showing this like this. This is expecting something. No, it cannot use within a function, so I have to use inside this. Something like this. Now let's see the value. You see the difference, right? So instead of doing this, ES6 says just use the same which was into showed as a normal spread operator, this structure, not spread plus this structure. This is a spread. So I'm creating new object and I'm basically spreading all the keys, primitive keys. Non-primitive will remain as is. Right? Right? But if I do this now, let's say do params dot tags dot push. Okay. Okay. So I'll just print here tag and I'll just print here tag. You will see des in both. यहाँ also और यहाँ also. Here also and here also. Okay. It's straightforward, right? So basically, it's just exactly the all primitives are copied here, and all non-primitive are basically copied as a reference. Okay, so this is how you do it. Okay, exactly now same as a where I showed you the destructuring in this, right? In this also you can destructure it. So I can just do ID index. Now in this case, ID and index will be removed, and rest will be kept in param. So if I print the param here, I remove this too, you will see. You will just see ID and param is gone. Let's also remove balance. You will see that balance is also removed. Okay, let's also remove tag. Now you will see all the basically keys are being basically kind of destructured, and all the remaining keys are kept in param. Okay, but because tag is a non-primitive here, you will see tag is a non-primitive here. It is again copied as a reference or passed as a reference. Okay, if I do something here, tag dot push. Again. I see tag here and here. So let me just not print this. I'll just use tag dot push tiger. You will see that I basically printed user tag. It printed. It also pushed there. Okay. So if you remember that old reference session, right? It will be very clear to you that how it is working. Okay, यहाँ पे print हो रहा है user tags and tags. Right? So this is how it works. Again, if I want to convert this tag into copy this tag, I just have to use the same map. I have to convert into map to a kind of a copy of the array, new copy of the array. All right. Same as here, we can basically rename the value. You can just say this. Okay, uppercase mein. So it is now it has renamed the value. So if I do this now, it still works the same way. I can just say ID is I'll just say user ID. Okay. If I now print this, so basically you will see user ID here. If I try to print the ID, possibly it will throw an error that ID is not defined. Okay? Because this is the syntax used for renaming the value. Okay? So this is the kind of a basic how function में destructuring can be destructuring as well as spread can be used. So these are destructured and these are spread. Okay? Okay. So let me show you another one. So this is the one verse. All right. So now in basically in ES5 there was no provision of default values in other programming language. We have some provisions like where you want to if you don't pass any parameter, right, it keeps the default value. But in ES5 there was no provision. You had to explicitly write it. But in ES6 there was a provision created so that you don't have to write it. Okay. So let's see if I remove this part for now. Okay. So in case, let's say if I don't pass anything, okay, right now if I run this, it will basically throw an error. It will say cannot destructure ID of undefined because we did not pass it. Okay. So if I pass empty object, okay, it will okay, we cannot push it. Yeah, right now we are passing an empty object. Okay, so basically it will just spread the operators and spread the keys with the spread the keys with just a undefined value. So if I print this now, if I just print the IDs, all will be undefined. Yeah. So yes, I says if you can also put a default values to this, right? So right now if I don't pass this and we are trying to do a destructuring as well as a spread, it will throw an error. To solve this, JavaScript says use this value, add another object. Okay. So this will basically give you a safety net where if you don't pass anything, it will function will still work. It will not crash it. All right. And same way, if you don't pass any value, okay, let's say if I'm passing a value user, all right, and there is no key such call as a, let's say, location. If there is a key location here, no, there is no key. Okay. So now if I run this, that location key, see this all values been populated here. Let's see if I print a location key here, it will basically be undefined. All right. So in basically in this, it in ES6 it says you can also assign a default value. Right? So to rename we use a colon. Okay. Okay. And to assign a different default value, we use a normal whatever value which we used to do. So I will just do Mumbai. Okay. So if I now run this, you will see Mumbai here, right? But the moment let's say if I add a location key in this, okay, now this value is there. I can just run this. You will see Pune, right? So it will basically check whether this key is present in that object or not. Okay. So first it will say check. Okay, there is a user object passed. So it will basically ignore this this default object, to avoid the crash. Now in the user object, it will check whether the location key is present or not. If it is present, it will use that value. If it is not present, then it will assign a default value to it, right? And then in that case, it will basically the value whatever passed. If it is not there, then it will use the default value which is being assigned. Okay, so this is the basically how function handles all the parameter. Okay, so this basic ES6 feature is complete. Any question?
I have a question. Is that spread operators in for that params? It is. I think. Is it printed or not printed?
Yes, it is a print. It is right now. It is not printed. I can print it. No? Okay. Yeah. I'll just remove rest of them. Tell me.
So means that that spread operators prints the value which we have means does not print the value which we have mentioned in outside it.
So basically, we basically pluck the key. So from this object, okay, we basically pluck the key. Plucking बोलते हैं ना कि let's say we are plucking a flower from a tree, right? है ना? So in this case, when we do a destructuring, right, it plucks the value. Okay. So what it's doing here, okay, so यहाँ पे दिखाता हूँ. Okay, let me just do it. Okay, so in this is what is happening here. So basically, so let's say this, we have this object, okay, random passing user object, okay. User is the main object. So this says plug the key index id index balance tags, okay, and location, okay, and location को default assign कर दो if there is no value, and
Okay.
बाकी जो key बचता है, rest of the key just assign it to params. Okay. If I now run this params, and if I run this user, just comment this out. You will see this. ये वाला जो first, okay, let me just give you now new line here. See this. This is the param. ठीक है, params में key नहीं है, but user object में original वाले में already है. ठीक है, so this help us already. Let's helps us basically create split the objects.
Okay, so ID, index, and balance. These are
These
not included in params.
Not included in params. Yes, that those are now individual variables.
The individual keys.
Individual keys, yes. Individual variables, yes. Okay.
And params will be in separate array.
Yes. Yeah. Do you see this? है ना? Okay. Not array. Whatever the value is.
Whatever the value.
If the user is an object, it will be an object. If the user is an array, it will be an array.
Okay.
Okay. The tag का दिखा देता हूँ मैं. Tag में because tag does not have a key, right? So it basically we have to give it a specific values. So I will just say 1, 2, and I will just say rest. Okay. So now if I print this 1, 2, okay, rest, and let's say let's also print tag. You see this 1, 2, यहाँ rest है, alright? But in original you see this 1 and 2 is already there, and from here it's started. Okay. I hope this is clear now.
Yes.
Okay. So this also applies to your function as well. Okay. Any question? Anyone have any question? All right. Okay. So this completes our the missing skill session. So tomorrow we will be having a closing session. So we'll do a quick revision tomorrow, and then we'll quickly draw a mind map. So right. And possibly what I will be doing next if anyone interested. Right. So I'm basically planning of I'll just cover this tomorrow. So anyway, those already have seen, right? So anyone who are with a like a 15 stick already can join this. But if anyone is interested, can you just pay a few token, a small token amount to join this session. Yeah. So again, I said right earlier. So if you do a task, you get rewarded. Okay. So this completes our the entire missing skill session, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned it.